All right, let's get set up here. Got a lot to talk about today, neighbor. There's my Cinnamon half pill. My notes, would you... No, look at them. This is a little secret part. I put my notes usually on the floor. Sometimes you see me looking away or looking down. It's because I got notes. Got my Blockbuster water canister from the last Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. God, I miss Blockbuster. Which is ironic because now it's hard for me to get in and out of places, so I don't know why I'm just longing for the time I had to go to the store to get a movie. I just love the experience. All right, let's get to it. Welcome, everybody, to J-Mac. How many times have I done this? Parkinson's with J-Mac. Welcome to Parkinson's with J-Mac. See, I've been doing two different shows. I'm going to go maybe I need some Cinnamon. Maybe it's my body telling me I need some Cinnamon. I've been doing this and not just Parkinson's. My other kind of show. Come on, freaking network going on here. But it's this guy, one of your very favorite people with Parkinson's. And I got to tell you, old Gary made my day, made my weekend. I'm going to put up the paint. It'll either pop up here or here, I'm not sure. But Gary sent me a painting. I think he's from Detroit. I could be wrong. Gary, correct me if I'm wrong. Sent me a painting that he did of me. I mean, that's... Wow, talk about blowing my mind. I knew I was helping people. I never expected to have anybody give me a painting of myself. If you have Parkinson's, sometimes it can be kind of hard to look at yourself on camera. I know it was really difficult for me at first. I was kind of like, I'm wiggling too much. My arm looks weird, or my face isn't moving like I thought it should, or my eyes are too wide open. Gary, you made my week. Might have made my year, honestly. It was great painting. Love it. Thank you so much. Which reminds me that I need to mention my email address, jmac, Jaymac, podcaster@gmail.com. If you want to send me a message, I'm not saying you got to send me a painting, but if you want to get a hold of me more than just a YouTube comment, jmacpodcaster@gmail.com. I'll put the link in the description as well as my Facebook and Instagram. Gary made my year. All right, album of the day. Now, I'm just going to tell you, stick around to the very end because I got sort of an Easter egg on this one. I'm going to let you know. Rocky Mountain High. Now, I know what you're thinking, and it's not that. This album I picked out because, A, I love John Denver, and B, the opening line of the opening song, he was born in the summer in his 27th year. Switch summer for winter and switch 27 for 36, and you got this guy when I was diagnosed in January of 2013. 36 years old. Life-changing experience. I've been dealing with health issues, as you know, for a long time previous to that, and I finally got my answer, and there was relief. Yes, there was relief that flooded by my system as well as dread, but I knew that my life would never be the same. I pretty much knew it before I got the diagnosis. I suspected Parkinson's, but when she said it, those three words, you have Parkinson's, I knew my life would never be the same. I didn't know how drastically it would change or how quickly it would change. But what I wanted to talk to you today about was how it has changed me for the better. I mean, of course I'm not one of those sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, guys. I mean, I've generally am pretty pessimistic about human nature. And so this is a real switcheroo for me. This is one of the ways that it changed me. We all know that it ruins your ability. I mean, I'm a crap guitar player, and I was never Eddie Van Halen, as I've said numerous times. But it's frustrating as hell to play the guitar. I'm not going to win any dancing competitions. My skateboarding days are over, things like that. So it takes away so many things from us. And I know it's a cliche, like we hear all the time. People like try to paint the rosy picture. A lot of it is crap. It can be a soul-crushing, body-numbing, body-flailing disease. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. But I've got a few things that it's changed in this guy that I think I'd like to pass on along to you as well. It's kind of my explanation for it. Compassion. I've talked about this in other videos. compassion was something, I got to tell you, I lacked most of my adult life. I'm not saying I was a bad person or mean-spirited or anything, but I didn't want to be bothered with the suffering and the struggles of others. Not, who would want to be? I mean, I don't know anybody that wants to take on other people's struggles, but it gave me a sense of compassion in here and up here that I was, got to tell you, was sorely lacking. And until you're on the other end, you don't realize how much compassion and just empathy can mean to a person who's suffering or going through health crisis or personal crisis. So there you go. And it doesn't just apply to health. People can go through horrible personal issues as well, as we well know, and we all know somebody that's gone through something like that. Another thing that it's done is it's made me more patient. Unless you ask my wife when I'm trying to get her to pour me a glass of wine, she's like, "Wait a minute, I can't do everything at once." Just kidding. My wife's a sweetheart, but she would argue about the patience. But I will say, it did make me more patient, because I was one of those guys that I was always been a grandpa driver. But if somebody was taking a long time to turn, be like, jackass. I can still do that now. I got to be honest with you. Or just impatient with somebody walking slowly in front of me. Now all of a sudden that's me. Now I'm the shaky old guy who can't get out of the way. So, and a lot of this probably has to do with just getting older. Age is the cure for some of these arrogant, youthful traits that we all have. These impatient, like dispassionate attitude. Here's another one, big: anger. I know it's going to shock you guys, but I'm going to blame it on my Irish side. I had a temper. I mean, I was known at work as the guy who would just blow up at the drop of a hat. Now, a lot of that was because I was feeling like the underside of a shoe that you stepped in dog poop on. But anger does nobody any good. I mean, there were times where I was maladjusted. I'll just say it. I was homeschooled. I'm going to blame it on that. But I would be at a party and things would get uncomfortable and I'd be feeling nervous and I would blurt out just really rude things to try to clear the room or like get away from people. Not cool. I can't do that now, because if I blurt out something awkward, and once again my wife would say I do that every time we have people over, I can't get up and leave the room. Before, I took my legs for granted. I'd run my mouth. Screw you guys, I'm going home. Screw you guys, I'm going home. My Eric Cartman impression. Now I've got to sit. If I soil the bed, so to speak, I got to lay in it. So it's kept me from getting angry. Not only that, but anger makes all your symptoms worse. Makes you more dyskinetic. Makes your tremor worse. Not good. Not good at all. And this is what I've kind of learned through all my journeys. And I'm going to say I've been 11 years from on this thing, almost 11 and a half. So I got some seniority. I've always felt more or less that life is random. I know we could disagree about that. I think there's some people that think everything happens for a reason. I feel like we give what happens a reason by our reaction to it. We can't control getting Parkinson's. We can't control getting cancer most of the time. I mean, there's some things that we know cause cancer. We can't control getting in car accidents. We can't control family members dying. We can't control any of it. The only thing we can do is control our reaction inside. And it's so much more peaceful to do that, to find the peace inside yourself or in your soul, so to speak, and just accept that we'll always have Parkinson's for more or less the rest of our life. There could be better cures. Being angry and moaning and complaining and raging and thrashing around and making those around us miserable does not help. And not only does it not help them, it does the exact opposite effect on us. Do I wish I had Parkinson's? No. I would love to be healthy up on stage playing my guitar, skating half pipes like I used to do. Those days are over for me, more or less. I've got to find the peace in my heart to accept the things I can't change. I know that's part of the, I think it's part of the AA credo or whatever. I can't change those things. So I've got to learn to accept them. And this is what age brings, and not just Parkinson's, what age brings. And I just hope that you guys can find a way. Like I said, maybe you're a believer in a big divine plan. That's not something we talk about on this channel. If you do, but I think we're still on the same page. If something is dropped into your life, whether it's destined or not, the one thing that we have control over is our reaction to it. And I'm going to leave it on that. I'm just going to tease next week. I'm going to give an update on my DBS. I've come to a decision on it. You guys may or may not be surprised on it. That will be the subject for next week's video. Coming up in a few days, I've got an interview with Sangster, with not just Parkinson's, David Sangster from England. That's all I got. Peace and love from the sunny, beautiful city of St. Louis. Okay, all the grown-ups gone? All right. There's a little Easter egg in this. Now, if you're easily offended or don't like slightly dirty humor, then don't blame me. Look at what John Denver has on the back of his t-shirt there. I'll read it to you. Be kind to animals. Kiss a beaver. What do you think he means by that? And on that note, I will leave you. Thanks for staying tuned for the Easter egg. Peace.